can get into talking about what skeptic token is about.
Yeah, so myself, I've been in crypto since 2015. And let me know if I'm talking and I go out. My mic's been acting weird today. But yeah, I've been in crypto since 2015. I got into DeFi probably around 2019, 2020, right around when BSC started. So been in BSC since day one, since it started. Uh, and just over time, started noticing a lot of different problems with the space, specifically the DeFi space, regarding how projects are built, marketed, managed, to where it really is the lack of transparency and a lack of information, oftentimes that creates problems for a lot of projects, and that results into the ability for a project to do something malicious, um, scammy, or whatever the case may be. It's because of the lack of transparency and lack of information that they're able to do that and get away with it. So
I mean,
our platform started off. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you.
Yeah, so our platform started off with project vetting, which is just going well and beyond a contract audit. So, in my opinion, a contract audit is not everything people think it is. It doesn't mean the project's safe. You can have a squeaky clean audit and still get rug pulled. It matters the team behind the project, obviously the contract, multiple pieces of the puzzle, such as project wallets and details surrounding the launch, and who owns the bulk of supply. Because if the team, or one person or the team or whoever ends up owning half the supply or something crazy, then that's the same thing as them having the ability to rug the token. They're not going to take liquidity if liquidity is locked, but they can just sell off and take a large chunk right out of the liquidity pool. So it's looking for transparency, looking for information, and looking at security of a project is how we got started. And then that eventually stemmed into wanting to provide more services for the space. So we got into um, seeing what we could do for developers. So right now, live, we have contract audits, contract creations, KYC services, arbitrage as a service, and vetted AMA tours with our AMA partners. And then as we roll out some of the services for users, which are going to be directly intertwined with our token, that'll be things that come later on. The first one being DS Drops, which is a promotional airdrop campaign subscription service. So that's how we got started. We wanted to provide products and services for the DeFi space, both for developers and users, and provide good products and services to where people know what they're getting when they come to our platform. They know that if a project the contract has been created from DeFi Skeptic, then you know that the contract is good. Whereas you might not know who created the contract of some random project out there, especially if they haven't been audited. Then it just opens the door for all kinds of bad things to happen. But the way the token will work is it'll serve a couple different purposes. It'll act as a payment method for some services. It'll act as a utility for other services. We're also working on an idea of making it a tiered holding amount to provide discounts for developers on developer services. And then once the token launches, right now live, we have an NFT sale, and I'll get into that in a second. But the NFTs and the tokens are paired together. So 200 tokens is the equivalent of one NFT. There's 500 million tokens, and there's 250 NFTs. And if you hold an NFT, you can always send it to the vault. The vault will take it from you and mint you tokens. And then if you hold tokens, you can always send those to the vault. The vault will burn them and then send you an NFT, assuming any are available. And that just allows the holder to decide whether they want a reward structure from our platform or if they want a speculative structure from the platform, where they would hold tokens, um, or if they just want to use the tokens for its natural use case. So it allows the holder to decide, whether they want the utility slash speculation or whether they want the rewards by deciding which one they want. You can have both. You can have one or the other, but it provides you the flexibility of switching back between the two anytime you want. So I'll stop there for any questions so far. And then we can get into the token and the NFT specifically.
Yeah, yeah. No, usually I just like to, no, no, no. Before we get to the NFTs, usually I just like to, have it as a chit chat, not so much of an interview. But I'm glad you're giving us that detailed introduction as to what the skeptic token is about and how you guys came to, creating it. I like the fact that you guys started off with betting projects, and I mean, it's not you don't find out a lot on the space. And when I see people who are doing a lot to, try to cleanse the space of scammers and rogues. I mean, I'm really, really impressed. I was wondering, since you guys have been around for a while, I know I've seen you guys in a couple of places. How many projects have you vetted from when you started till now?
Currently, we have 3 that are fully vetted. We have a couple that are signed up that we need to schedule, but with things going on with our token, our NFTs, and us building out the platform and partnerships, we've kind of paused on the vetting until we get some of the other more high priority stuff done. So currently, we have 3 projects fully vetted and about 4 that are in the backlog that we need to schedule out. But that'll probably start getting scheduled here in the next week or two.
Cool, cool. So I wanted to know, I know a lot of people on the call are also, curious. So you guys are doing vetting different from what other people will know. You said it's not just the normal contract audit, but I wanted to find out what the process is like. So take for instance, I have a project. We've been able to develop the contract, and I come to the skeptic team and say, you know what, guys, I want you to vet me. What's the process like? Are they KYCs? Are they badge you give them to show that you know what, these guys are safe? Give us a rundown of how it works, and what results investors should be looking out for. If there's an authenticity that they should check with the badge or whatever.
Yeah, so as a token holder, a skeptic token holder or an NFT holder, project vetting wouldn't necessarily benefit that directly. It benefits this space, the ecosystem of DeFi Skeptic, because now we're introducing projects that have gone through a vetting aspect. Um, Vetting is the only service that is not going to be intertwined with the token or the NFT at all. The rest of them will have some sort of intertwinedness to the token or NFT. But vetting is strictly platform beneficial. It just allows projects to then get vetted by our platform. They'll receive a badge. The badge is on our homepage. It's actually been upgraded. We got a lot nicer badge now. But that they'll get the badge. They'll get put into our database. We're currently working on a version 2 of our website. The current website is just a WordPress website. But we're working on a new website that'll be built in React. It'll be a lot more intuitive, a lot more user friendly. We're looking to put a database in there that is sort of along the same lines as like you could think like CoinMarketCap, right, where you have projects listed, and then on the columns it provides some statistics on them, and then when you click them it provides information. But in our case, when you click the project, it would provide a whole project profile on all the information that was gathered during the vetting session. So things that go through smart contract, we'll go through the project details, we'll go through the project wallets. That includes the deployer, owner, marketing, any wallet that is deemed as a project wallet. Basically looking for discrepancies, theft, misuse of funds, ties to past projects that might have been scams. And then getting into pairs and liquidity. So ensuring that liquidity is maintained properly. There's not some large portion of liquidity unlocked. Ensuring that liquidity is being used properly and not siphoned from. And then looking at pre-launch and post-launch details, so seed rounds, private sale, pre-sale, as well as the launch itself, and then as well as the project team. So part of the interview is actually sitting down and speaking with the project team, asking them, questions regarding their past, their involvement in the project. We require that anybody that has access to funds or that can impact funds, such as like the maybe the app developer, where they have sort of back end access. They don't actually have access directly to, say, maybe a project wallet, but if they have the ability to control the platform that can result in funds getting, stolen, they have to be on the interview. So anybody that has access to project funds or can impact project funds, they have to be on the interview. Somebody like, the community manager, they don't necessarily have to be on the project interview. Everybody is welcome to come, but just people that can impact project funds, they're required to be there. But
And
how it
is
works is,
okay. I just wanted to chip in. Is the interview a video interview where they have to docs?
yeah, so whether they're doxed or KYC'd, we require that they do a video interview with us. We're
Okay.
also not doxed. We're KYC'd. But the vetting portion is required that we do a video interview. It's not recorded. They're prohibited from recording it as well per the agreement. But it's more so to ensure that, if they're KYC'd and they're going by a certain name, that we can see them, we can verify them, as well as if they're doxed, then we definitely need to verify who they say they are. So yeah, it's a video interview, and during that time we'll go through the whole vetting process. But the way it works is they'll go to the website, they'll apply. We'll do a preliminary review. So before we even agree to vet them, we'll go through quickly on their project and look for just some standard things. Has the contract been audited? Are they doxed or KYC'd? Is the liquidity locked? If they have liquidity, some projects don't have liquidity, like a dedicated blockchain or a NFT or something. They won't have liquidity. So we're not just BSC tokens. We're DeFi wide. We vet any projects. And then
Okay,
project
cool.
wallets, they have to have. Sorry,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I was saying, then the last thing we look at in our preliminary interview or review is that the project wallets have to have a failsafe, so more than one owner. If it's just one person that has ownership of it, that presents a risk to the project, because if the person dies, what happens to the project? So we ensure that they're either managing it through something like a multi-sig, or that more than one person has access. And that's not for, that's not to say, hey, we're trying to make sure that one guy doesn't run away with the funds. Obviously that's important, but the main purpose of is requiring that is that if something happens to that one person, that then the project doesn't fail. So that's the preliminary interview before we even agree to vet the project. We'll also go into their community and kind of check it out a little bit and get a feel for if they're just creating false hype or if they're actually trying to build something real. Then we'll give them a decision, and if that decision is to put them through the process, we'll schedule an interview. We'll do the interview, and then we'll collect all the information we got on our own, the information they gave us. We'll sort through all that and make a final decision on whether or not we deem them as approved. If they're approved, they'll get the badge, they'll get put into the database, they'll be able to interact with our platform. If they're not approved, we don't publicize that. We're not looking to, put any kind of like negative reputation on a project just because they didn't pass our process. We don't publicize that. We just tell them why they didn't pass, and here's some things that we recommend. And if you change them, come back to us, and then we can get you vetted. But yeah, we don't publicize people that don't pass. We just let the community know who does pass.
All right, cool. Before we jump into the NFTs, I see you guys have added two new services to the site. One of which is the custom contract creator, where you can help them create their contracts, just like you said. I mean, and I feel like that's one way to kill two birds with one stone. So you can have them you create the contracts for them, so that way you trust your devs and you know that there's nothing fishy that's going to happen with the contract. So that's very, very beautiful to see. But I also wanted to ask about the arbitrage as a service. What's that about? Could you give us, details as to what that means and how, projects are benefiting from that?
Yeah, so if nobody is familiar with arbitrage, I'll explain that first. But with arbitrage as a service, it doesn't matter to a project that only has one liquidity pool. If you're just a token that's paired to BNB, then you won't even be able to use it. You have to have one. You have to have more than one liquidity pool, so two or more. And if you don't have two or more, you should highly consider adding a second one. The benefits of adding a second liquidity pool just it stabilizes your project better. So if your token is only paired to BNB, then your token controls 50% of the price, and BNB controls 50% of the price. If you add a second pair, your token still controls 50% of the price, but now the backing asset, since there's two of them, each only controls 25%. So the more backing assets you continuously add over time, the more that their control gets divided up. Your token will always control 50%. You can't change that because it's half of the price. But when you add more to the other side, you reduce the control that they have. The way arbitrage as a service works is that if you have more than one liquidity pool, it naturally creates arbitrage opportunities. Think of like just Bitcoin, for example. If Bitcoin is $20,000 on exchange A and $21,000 on exchange B, well, you can buy $20,000. You can buy one Bitcoin on exchange A and run over to exchange B and sell it, and then you just pocketed $1,000. That's the same thing that happens in tokens. So when you have additional liquidity pools, you might have a price discrepancy between the two, and if you're not doing anything about it as a project, then you just leave that open for arbitrage traders to take advantage of. So basically, they just siphon funds from your project due to discrepancy in price. There's nothing wrong with that. People, that arbitrage is just a natural thing that happens. But the way arbitrage as a service works is it's a bot that will run on your contract. It's tax excluded. It works for you, and it does those arbitrage trades to balance out your liquidity pools, ensure that they maintain the same prices, and any profit that it makes, 85% of that profit just gets sent right back to the project to a wallet of their choice. So whereas normally that would just be lost to random traders, now you put a service working for you that maintains stability of your liquidity pools, but also kicks that profit back to you. And the project can use that for whatever they want, development, rewards, marketing, really whatever they want to do.
Cool. It's a handful for some of us to, grabs. I know arbitrage, but I have not seen it in this context, especially having it as a service. But at this point, I would implore everyone on the VC to, join the Skeptic Token Telegram group. You might find that really handy, especially trying to get clarification as to some of the many benefits that you can have. Let's talk a bit about the NFTs now, because I see that one of the added benefits of holding an NFT is that you get 50% of all arbitrage as a service goes trading volume. So, let's hold a pause on that and talk about the whole concept of the NFTs. 250 of them, 200 common, and 50 rare. So, are those NFTs already on sale? Can people start to mint them? What's the price for the NFT?
Yeah, so the NFTs we're starting first. That sale's currently live. And the NFT funds are what we're using to launch the token. So we're not doing a private sale or pre-sale or anything like that. We're the funds collected from the NFT sale are then going to go to the token. The way that the NFTs work is there's 250 total. 50 of them are considered rare, which have their own benefits. Every NFT, whether rare or common, they get a base benefit package, which is you'll get 3% of all skeptic token volume. So that's paid out in BNB. You'll get 50% of the arbitrage bot trade profit. So any profit that it makes, 50% of that will get kicked back to NFT holders. You'll also get 40% of the skeptic fund interest. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you also get added to a private Telegram where we just kind of give a little more insight to the project, things such as new products and services, beta testing, info on new partners and affiliations before we announce it, stuff like that. It's just a little more inside scoop to what's going on with the project. For the rare NFTs, they get all that, plus they get a put into a monthly lottery. So just and we might add more benefits to the rare NFTs at a later date, but right now it's strictly just a monthly lottery. And the way that the NFTs work is they directly intertwine with the token. So with our token, it has a max supply of 50 million, and with the NFTs, there's a max supply of 250. But at any given time, the amount of NFTs owned is variable. It changes. Whether people buy them or sell them or whatever. Uh, with the token and with the NFTs, they're paired. So as an NFT holder, you can send your NFT to the vault, and you'll give your NFT up. It just goes into the vault for somebody else to claim. But in turn, you'll get minted 200,000 tokens. And you can do that whenever you want, however often you want. And if you hold tokens, you can send your tokens to the vault. It will burn them from supply and send you an NFT, assuming that there's an NFT available for claim. There will always be NFTs for claim, because if all NFTs were owned, then there would be no tokens in supply, and that would just make the token price go insanely high. If there was only one NFT left in the vault, then there would be 200,000 tokens in supply out of 50 million. The rest would have been burned, and they'll be burned. They'll be minted as people swap back and forth. So circulating supply will always be changing, but that's the way that the NFTs and the tokens intertwine. Is that it just lets the user decide, do I want rewards or do I want utility / speculation? You can have both, but you can also switch between the two anytime you want. And that's the floor price as well. So the NFTs are 1 BNB right now, and that means that the token will start up at 200,000 tokens at 1 BNB, because that's what the price of the NFT is, and it has to equal the price of the 200,000 tokens. So that's how the token will be launched. It'll be launched at 200,000 tokens per BNB will be the initial price, which is also the initial price of the NFT. Any questions on that?
No. I was wondering, you were going to talk about 40% of the skeptic fund interest. That's part of the incentives for the NFT.
Yeah. So part of the token, our tax structure, if you do a standard buy through like PancakeSwap or KuCoin or DexTools or wherever you normally buy from, it's 10% is the tax for buys and 10% for sells. We're offering a discount swapper, which is just a separate contract. And to incentivize using it, it's a 2% tax discount, so you'll pay 8%. The benefit of that is when you go through the discount swapper, it taxes the BNB up front and then does a token buy and sends you your tokens with no token tax attached to the tokens. So as the contract then won't receive tokens, it doesn't have to sell those tokens later to convert to BNB. So a lot of times with tokens that have tax, they'll accumulate tokens to, their tax tokens to a certain point, and then it'll trigger, and then they'll sell those tokens for BNB, for marketing or whatever they're using their tax for. By using the discount swapper, we can, get away from that idea. And if everybody used that, then essentially the token would never sell against itself because it wouldn't have any tokens to sell. But the way the tax works is out of the standard buys and standard buys and all sells, 4% of that tax is put into the skeptic fund, 3% is sent to the NFT holders as BNB, and 3% is directed to marketing. If you go through the discount swapper, then it's 3% to the skeptic fund, 3% to NFT holders, and 2% to marketing. The Skeptic Fund is just a external fund to where as it accumulates funds from the tax, it invests those funds into low to medium risk external components such as like liquidity pool farms, appreciating assets, staking pools, things of that nature that have APR and APYs. And then once a month, that interest is harvested or collected, and then 40% of it is sent to the NFT holders. 40% of it is compounded right back into the fund just to ensure that it continues to grow on its own without 100% relying on token tax. And then 20% is directed back to the project currently as marketing. But that's how the Skeptic Fund works. So it's a way that we can generate external revenue, direct it to the NFT holders, support the project, as well as ensure the fund grows by compounding some of it.
Nice. I mean, you guys really have all this really planned out, and
Yo,
I'm
what's
just really,
up?
really impressed. Who's that?
Yo,
Hey, mute your mic, please. JS
I
Dash.
have some
Mute
questions,
your
please.
mic. Mute your mic. Mute your mic.
Okay,
It's not your
so,
time for questions. I would get to you,
um,
please. I'm sorry.
okay, sir, what's your name, man?
Sorry, Bash. Mute your mic.
What is your name?
Lux, could you please mute him? Thank you. Sorry about that, Chris.
No
Um,
problem.
so yeah, you just caught my line of thought. So yeah, I wanted to ask quick clarification about how the NFTs can be, converted to the skeptic token. That's the SKP token. So would I lose possession of that NFT? Like, would it be a swap, or I still keep the NFT as well as keep the tokens when they are, airdropped? Did you
Yeah,
get my
so
question?
right, yeah, the NFT sale is live right now. That's the only way to get an NFT directly by buying it with, like BNB. After launch, any NFTs that aren't sold, which we're only selling 120, so 130 will be put in the vault. After launch, to get an NFT out of the vault, you would have to buy a skeptic token, send them to the vault, which then burns them from supply and sends you an NFT. Vice versa, if you have an NFT, you can send it to the vault. It will take the NFT away from you, place it in the vault for somebody else to claim, and then it will mint you 200,000 tokens. You can buy tokens and you can own NFTs. You can own both if you want, but it just allows people to convert back and forth, for them to decide whether they want tokens or NFTs.
Cool. I mean, it was just a really, really nice clarification, and thank you for doing that. Guys, everyone on the call, you heard him, the NFT sale is live. If this tickles your fancy in any way, head into their group. You can do NFTP, I think. It's gonna bring out details of how you can get into the NFT and all the incentives that is available, or you just do NFT sale dot defi skeptictoken.com. I mean, really, really nice incentives they've got. Also, there's a competition for the largest NFT buyer would get 6 BNB, and then two random buyers would get 3 BNB. Am I correct, Chris?
Yeah, so we're running a competition. We actually hosted a pretty large BSC Expo 2 weekends ago. We called it the Bear Market Bash, where we had 12 projects that we got to collaborate and speak in an event. It was a pretty awesome event. Part of that event was charging an entry fee, and that entry fee is going towards the NFT sale. So the largest NFT buyer, that's just cumulative buys. So I mean, if you just buy one and then another and then another, and you end up being the biggest NFT buyer, you'll win 6 BNB. Two random buyers, doesn't matter how many you buy, it's just random. Two random buyers, they'll win 3 BNB each, so a total of 12 BNB.
Awesome, awesome, guys. You've heard that. So, like I said, head into their group, do NFTP. I think that's it. that's the command. It's going to prompt you with the incentives and how you can buy. So, I've got more questions for you. I mean, it's an interesting one. I got to, do my own research before the AMA. And, I was really impressed. And I just wanted to ask about team size. And, you guys are doing vetting. You guys would at some point be, customizing, what's it called, contracts. You guys will be having the AMA tours with them. I don't know how that's going to work. You guys will also be doing NFTs, and also there's a token launch coming up in the future. So I'm asking about the team size and, how, the capacity to handle all of these utilities and, give them all the desired inputs and, get them to impact the space as much as they should and you guys have desired to be.
Yeah, are you asking in terms of are we going to be able to maintain what we're trying to do?
Yeah, there's so many angles to it. I mean, the vetting is there at some point. There's gonna be a token. There's currently NFTs, managing everything. I mean, I don't know how many you guys are on the team. I'm just talking about you guys being overwhelmed. Are you in any way concerned that that would arise in the future? Are you planning to expand the team? How many are you guys currently on it? And do you have every angle of what it will take covered out already?
Yeah, so our direct team, our core team is a team of four, but some of our products and services we've partnered with other platforms to leverage their development team. So, for example, our contract creations, we have a team that we partner with that handles the contract creation. So, when you speak of all our products and services and a collective of team members, I mean, we're probably a team of 20, just due to our partners.
Cool. I mean, I wanted to get that sorted. So yeah, just like you said, you talked about partners, and that was going to be my next question. So I was in the group and I saw that you guys are, having some really, really awesome partnerships, and just like you've said, they are really, really important to handle a lot of other areas that you guys will be hoping to cover. But let me ask about the marketing now. I know that the NFT sale is ongoing. Probably you guys are having good number of sales. So I want to talk about the token launch. Just like you said, there's not going to be any pre-sale. I mean, it's going to be more of the NFTs and then how you can swap and all that. Well, what's the plan for marketing that when eventually it goes live?
Yes. So once the NFT sale finalizes, we'll look to promote and market the token. The majority of our marketing is going to be focused on actual marketing, not just call channels. That will just call channels are a temporary form of excitement. It doesn't build your project. It might get people in there. They might buy, they might sell, but it doesn't build your brand. So the majority of our marketing is going to go towards actually marketing the token through articles, press releases, doing a lot more AMAs, to the point where we can build our brand and get brand awareness, and I'll actually try to target international marketing. So we're an English-based project. We're all in America. Our team is KYC'd, but with that, we don't just want to market to English-speaking communities, because naturally, as an English-speaking project, others are going to hear about you just through word of mouth. I'm sure everybody in here has probably heard of another project from a friend or something. So when you look at marketing, you don't want to necessarily market to your own user base, your own ethnicity, crowd. They're going to hear about it anyways. So the bulk of our marketing is going to be international marketing. When you look at who is the largest crypto holders, and you add up North America and Europe, you add them together, Asia outnumbers them 3-1. So the bulk of our marketing is going to go towards Asia. And when you look at who's the biggest holders of crypto in Asia, you'll come back with Russia, India, Indonesia, China, and those are going to be a lot of our targets for marketing. We'll still market to North America, South America, Europe, but the bulk of our marketing is going to go towards Asia, and that'll be in the form of AMAs, press releases, articles, real actual content that will, generate brand awareness for us, as opposed to just dumping on, dozens of BNB into random call channels that it'll still attract people to us, but it doesn't build our brand.
I mean, anyone who knows me and listens to these AMAs every single time I have them, I always tell people, it's best you go for marketing strategies that, try to build brand awareness and not just, pump the charts and dump them. People need to understand what they're actually investing in, what the project is about, and not just, I like this token because it looks like it's going to do 2x, 3x in the next couple of days. No, that's not what you need. I mean, you guys are solid, you guys are done the homework well. And I mean, if you're going to be looking to, markets in Asia and other non-English speaking countries, I mean, one of the things you need to clear would be that language barrier. And hopefully, you guys will be able to get it right and, get this project out there and have people, come in and, be a part of it as well. Chris, would you like to take some questions from the community members here? I don't want to steal from their time. I know a lot of them are eager to ask questions.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Whoever has questions.
All right. If you have a question, you can just raise your hands and I'll unmute you. There was JS Batch. You can go ahead and I think you wanted to clarify something. I don't know, but it was no time at your time. But JS Batch, if you're listening and you want to ask a question, you can go ahead. Otherwise, I'll just get another person.
Yo,
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanna ask, what is your name, man?
Who? My name?
Yes, your name.
I mean, you can see it there. My name is explicit.
Okay, so how old are you?
JS Batch. I mean, if you want to talk to me, we can probably schedule a meeting or something. I don't know, but this is time for Skeptic Token AMA, and they are the ones on the call. And I mean, I want to get community members to ask them questions concerning their project. But we can have a talk later on. I wouldn't mind, JS Batch. But thank you so much for stopping by to check on. I mean, let's get
Yes,
started.
good luck, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much. Really appreciate, man. Dr. Oxygen, go ahead and ask your question.
You explicit. So my question is, since you mentioned that you've created 50 rare NFTs and 200 common NFTs. Now, are the prices the same? And do the NFTs look alike? Is there some difference between both of them to differentiate those that are rare and those that are common?
Yeah.
And are the prices the same?
Yeah, so all of them are the same price. As you buy them from the NFT sale, you don't get to decide whether you get common or rare. It's randomized, so you'll get random. Being that there's 50 out of 250, you will have a 20% chance of getting a rare one. They do have different appearances, so the 1 through 50, they'll have their own individual designs. The 51 through 250, they'll have the same design. And every NFT is individually serialized on the NFT itself with its NFT number. And that way, that allows us to, showcase people that win the lottery, or if we ever decide to add anything else where we want specific NFT numbers, we can do that right from the images. You could also do that from the token ID on BSC scan, but by allowing serialization of the NFT itself, we can make it a little more dynamic for people. But yeah, there's rare, there's common. When you buy them, it's just random on what you get.
Okay. So what if I want to sell them? I can sell them at my own price.
Yeah, you could always, if we list on secondary markets, Tofu NFT or like Pancake Swap or anywhere that has BSC NFTs, you can always sell them there. But you can also always send them to the vault and get minted tokens as well.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Explicit.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oxygen, for that question. Next, we'll get Crypto Veta. Crypto Veta, you're allowed to speak. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, brother, for the opportunity. All right, so I really love this project. I was going through the website and I found quite interesting features of the project, and two captured my attention. And I'd like to hear more about how they're going to work. The first one is the discount swapper, and then the AAAS box. So can you just kind of throw more light on how these two features are going to work and how it's going to benefit the users? Thank you.
Yeah, so first, the discount swapper, that will be a separate contract. The way it will work is we'll eventually have a DApp integrated on the website to use it, but you also just be able to send funds to it. And all it does is instead of you going to PancakeSwap, buying tokens, the tokens getting taxed and then sent to the project as tokens for tax that we then have to sell, then putting sell pressure on the token, we bypass that. So if you go through the discount swapper, you'll get a tax discount. And in turn, what we do is we tax the BNB up front instead of getting tokens as tax. So the way it will work is, let's just say that the tax is 10%, and you want to buy 10 BNB worth of tokens. So you'll send 10 BNB through the discount swapper. It will tax 1 BNB and retain that, and then it will send 9 BNB to the liquidity pool to swap the tokens and then send you your tokens. And then those tokens wouldn't have an additional second tax. It was just that initial BNB tax. So it'll be a tax excluded buy on the actual token. And that just allows us to still get a tax, but tax from the actual funds being spent and not receive tokens as tax to where we then have to sell off. So it benefits the token in regards to, we don't have to sell tokens that we receive as tax. If we're not receiving any tokens as tax and we're just getting BNB, then we never have to sell those tokens. Does that answer your question about the discount swapper?
Sure, it does. And honestly, I'm really bullish about this, and I love it. I wish every project could implement such a feature. Thank you very much. So the second one.
Yeah. And then, so that's how the discount swapper works. And then for the arbitrage as a service, we talked about it a little earlier. You might not have been on, but the way that works is it'll run on our token. And we're going to start our token off with 2 liquidity pools just to provide more stability to our project. And the arbitrage bot will run in between those 2 liquidity pools to make sure the price is stable between the 2. That way, like one liquidity pool isn't, $1, and then on the other liquidity pool it's like $1.05 or something. So it'll basically arbitrage trade and stabilize the 2 liquidity pools to maintain them at the same price, which then stabilizes the project. But in return, when it does that, it creates profits that would normally just be lost to arbitrage traders if they did those trades. And then that profit is just directed right back into the project. So as an NFT holder, you'll get 50% of that profit. And then 50% is directed back into, currently right now, back into liquidity. Although, we might change that second part to be marketing or really whatever we need to change it to. But NFT holders will always get 50% of that profit.
Interesting. Okay, I would have loved to hear about how it works for other projects, because I found out something like maybe other projects could actually use the same service. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're using it for our token to benefit our platform, but we also offer it as a service. So on our website, if you go to the homepage and click on products and services and then go to developer services, it's the 4th one down, arbitrage as a service. So projects can sign up to use it. It's free. You don't pay anything to use it. There's no, sign up fee or monthly fee or anything like that. It's totally free. And then the way it works is it will run on their project, and the profit it makes, it just directs 85% right back to them to a wallet of their choice. And then on our side, we retain 15% of the profit.
Makes sense. Thank you very much. Thank you. That'll be all for now.
Appreciate you, Crypto Vetter. Just by the way, if you don't get complete clarification, if you listen to the recording, because we have this recorded, somewhere around 15 minutes into the AMA, we talked about, the arbitrage as a service. You can also, consult the recording for more details about that. But let's get Media Cater to, jump on and ask a question. Media Cater, you can go ahead.
So, hey, Explicit, and hey, Chris. I
Go
have
ahead.
so I have a couple of questions I want to ask about the vetting process.
It's a bit noisy, Media Cater. Could you look for a less noisy environment? I'm sorry, Media Cater, I had to mute you. Could you look for a less noisy environment or raise your hand again? I'll be sure to, get you off mute. But let's get Jason to ask a question. Jason, go ahead. I'm sorry about that, Chris. It was really noisy, so I had to mute. Jason.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, do you intend to include more payment option for the DS drop utility in the future, or just skeptic token?
You're asking about DS drops, one of our utilities?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, so the way DS Drops works is it's a subscription service. So you'll use Skeptic Token to subscribe to the service. And there's 3 tiers. So it'll be tiers 1 through 3. And the way that works is we'll interact with projects through our AMA partners, our Launchpad partners, or projects that just come directly through us for our services. And they'll be able to conduct a promotional marketing campaign through us that will include, posts and AMAs and things of that nature, but also providing their tokens. Their tokens will then get put into the DS Drops DApp contract, and subscribers to that service will get tokens from that drop. So it's just a way that you can subscribe to a service and get a bunch of different project tokens, sent to you without you really having to go out and find them yourselves. Just allows you to kind of diversify your portfolio by subscribing to a single service.
Oh, okay. Thanks for answering my question, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much, Jason. Media Cater, I see your hand is up again. Please be in a less noisy environment. I'll come to you, but let's get Joseph me to, ask a question. Joseph, please go ahead.
Hi there.
Yeah,
Are you listening?
yeah.
My question is, can you give us an insight on what the NFT is going to look like a sneak peek? Because I was not able to get to your page. So, what's the NFT going to look like?
What's the NFT going to look like?
Yes.
You have a picture of it.
Yeah, if you go, it's right on the home page. It's also in our white papers. If you just go to the home page of the website and scroll down, you can see how those will look.
Okay. Thanks.
Sort of resembles like a trading card almost.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Joseph. So let's get Media Cater to ask the question. Media Cater, go ahead.
Okay, so am I noise? Is the place quiet now? Can you hear me clearly?
But just go ahead. Yeah, I think it's better now.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions regarding the vetting process that I saw on the website. So the first is talking about the fees, the fees for the services you guys are offering. So if is the one-time payment of $250, is it for all the services, or can the project devs that want to that require your services, can they pay in parts for maybe one or two, or is it a must that they must pay for all the services at once?
So are you saying as a project developer who wants to purchase services, is there one price for all of them, or are they separately priced?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, they're separately priced. So if you would want, just contract creations, you can get a quote on that, and pay for just that. Or if you wanted an audit or KYC or really whatever you want to do, they're all separate services with individual prices. Something like a contract creation, that's by quote because it really depends on what you're looking to have built. I mean, if it's just a small normal rewards token, that's a lot easier to build. So it'll be a lot cheaper than trying to build out a big staking platform that has multiple contracts and dApps and stuff of that nature. So yeah, every service is separate, and will have different prices. Some of them are set prices, some of them are by quote.
Okay, so thank you for that answer. So the second question is talking about I want to ask is about the time required for the services you provide. So how long will it take to provide each services, or how long will it take to render the service for the projects so that the project can go on as planned?
Yeah, so again, it just depends on the service. If you wanted KYC, I mean that can be done really quick. If you wanted the vetted AMA tour, that would have to be scheduled through all the different AMA providers. If you wanted, say, a contract creation or contract audit, that's by quote. You'll have to describe, what you're looking for, provide the information, and then you'll get a quote for a price and a timeline. So it really just depends on the service. Some of them can be, instant or within a day or two, whereas others, if they're building out, a whole contract platform for you, building your back end, and it might take some time. It could take a week or two. It really just depends on the level of work involved.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. And the last is so in the future, are there any plans to, like, let's say, provide what is it called? Provide because according to the website, after the interview, guys, if the interview is rated never and needs more work, that means you are going to provide recommendations on how the project devs or so can improve on the project. So, any what is it called? Any plans to, like, let's say, help the project devs to improve on the product themselves rather than giving them the recommendations?
Yeah, absolutely. If the recommendation is, hey, you guys don't have a audit, we can provide an audit for them. They can go get an audit from whoever they want, but we do provide that service. If they, have a security issue, say their liquidity is not locked, if you look into our roadmap, under our products and services and our documentation, we're going to be adding token lockers. So you'll be able to lock liquidity and lock tokens through our platform as well. But yeah, definitely, if there's a recommendation, we want to provide the recommendation and also the solution for the recommendation. Whether they decide they want to use us or not is entirely up to them. But any recommendations we provide, we'll be providing a service for that recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris, and thank you very much, Explicit. The answers were informative and explanatory. I appreciate it a lot. Good luck with the project.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mediacator, for those questions. Chris, thank you so much for coming out. Do you have any final words at this point for the investors here before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, so our whole platform is just focusing on trying to better the space by in the DeFi space. That's what I mean when I say the space. And we're trying to do that by just increasing transparency, information, and security. That's the whole goal of the platform. That's the idea behind all of the products and services we're providing, and as well as us with strategic partnerships with projects, platforms, businesses that all kind of share the same goal as us. It's a long-term project. We're not in the goal of just trying to pump the chart real quick. So if you're looking for something that's going to like 100x in the first week or something crazy like that, that's not this project. You should probably look for a different one. If you're looking for a project that is focused on building a brand long term, we're in a bear market right now. Perfect time to launch a real project because then you can build it out and get to the point where you're ready for the next bull market. So if you're looking for a project to put in, your view site of that is planning to be around for quite some time, that's what we're about. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I appreciate all the questions and thanks for having us here.
Chris, before you run along, I don't want to steal from Andy. Andy has had his hand up, before I told you to do the final words, his hand dropped. But his hands
Hello,
are
can
up
you hear
again.
me?
Andy, yeah, please, could you really, really be quick, so we can, wrap things up here. Andy,
Thanks
go
for
ahead.
opportunity.
Yeah.
My question is, skeptic between traditional finance and emerging DeFi crypto world. How will you be able to successfully bridge DeFi to CeFi? Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you state the question again? How are we planning to do what exactly?
How will you be able to successfully bridge DeFi into CeFi?
Oh, so how are we going to bridge centralized finance into decentralized?
Secondly,
No,
Is that
hold
what you
on,
were?
Andy. Let's get clarifications to that question first.
Is that what you were
Andy,
asking? How we're going to
question.
bridge
Andy, could you just
centralized? Is that what you're asking? How we're going to bridge centralized finance to decentralized?
yes.
Yeah, so our whole platform is focusing on decentralized. I'm expecting and we're expecting decentralized finance to grow substantially over the next decade, and then into the future. So our focus is primarily on decentralized. As people naturally hear, when you talk about who owns crypto, it's only 3 to 4% of the whole world even own crypto. I presume that's going, I expect that's going to change and increase as time goes on. You'll see more people coming to the DeFi space. So our primary focus is going to be on the DeFi space.
Thank you so much, Chris, for that clarification. And everyone, guys, I want to appreciate you for coming out to Groza's Lounge. Thank you, Chris, for choosing Groza's Lounge. As always, if you have any updates concerning the project, feel free to drop them in the group, or send that over to me or Groza himself. I'm sure he's going to get that posted in the group. But I just want to thank you guys for coming out once again. And beautiful AMA, I had fun. We'll send the recording out to you so you can have that pinned as well in your group. But everyone on the call, I would urge you once again to join the Skeptic Tokens TG. Just stick around there, observe what's going on, say some nice things, get to ask more questions, and then at a safe time when you feel it's more convenient for you, you can be a part of what they've been able to create, get an NFT, stick with them and see what the project is about. You never can tell. They are really solid, having to, scout, help people with, vetting projects and all that. So it will tell a lot about their integrity and what they've been able to put together themselves. Thank you everyone, guys. Groza is not here on the call, so we won't be doing any giveaway. He's been busy on the back end. He's been trying to get some things sorted, but he's promised to do a giveaway later tonight or tomorrow. So stick to the calls channel. He's going to be doing a giveaway there. Also tomorrow we have two beautiful AMAs. We have one with Chrono Maz. I'm sure you guys know them. Awesome team. They've been here a couple of times and they've launched. They're doing so well. 3x as the last time Grozo checked. So it's going to be a beautiful one. I can't wait to hang out with that team once again. But guys, thank you so much for coming out. Thanks, Chris, and everyone, and have a safe night and goodbye.
All right, thank you. Thanks everyone.